Hi guys, it's Nancy, and I have the June 2022 Clear Stamp and Die of the Month kit. I am loving this. I cannot wait to create something with this, and wait till you guys see. You know what? I'm just going to show it to you. Wait till you see the glimmer of the month. This, I think, is going to sell out very quickly. Give you a little sneak peek here. Well, first of all, you get rainbow foil. Who doesn't love that? But look at this coordinating glimmer plate. And then, of course, there's some matching sentiments and dies to cut them out. But, you guys, if you're not part of the Spellbinders kit, especially the glimmer, this is a value. You get a glimmer plate, sentiments, dies to cut them out, and the foil. That's a value hands down, because we all know these are not cheap. And you get a roll of foil every time. But the coordinating clear stamp and die, oh my gosh, so cute. So we have obviously this mandala paisley effect going on here. The sentiments say, hello, beyond grateful, sending happy thoughts your way, hope this card finds you well. And then we have coordinating dies. If you get the die and stamp of the month, you can order the stamps without the dies, but I think it's worth it just to get the dies. Okay, so we got this guy. We got the paisleys, which are both the same size. Oh, sorry, 3 of them. We have sentiments. We have the little guy here. This one. And the hello. So the only 2 sentiments are beyond grateful and hope this card finds you well. Everything else has a die, because remember, these paisleys all fit. So that is awesome. And these are straight, so you can straight cut those. You don't. That's why they give you the die for this one, because it's a weird shape. Okay, so I'm thinking, I haven't done a reverse, a Joseph's coat. Haven't done one. So why not? Let's do it, okay? So I'm going to grab some blending brushes and some inks. We're going to move the stamps aside for a second. And we're going to use these 3 colors: Lime Reiki, Fiesta Blue, and Grape Crush. 3 different colors. These are Catherine Puller inks. I have my little blending brushes here. So let's start with some Lime Reiki. And I'm just going to go straight into my paper in random spots here. Don't worry if your blending doesn't look great. It's not going to matter on this technique, because it's all going to be covered up. So you can have some lighter spots. You can have some darker spots. This is a great way to practice your blending, because if you don't like it, you can cover it up. If you do like it, you can use it for another method. Okay, so here we have Fiesta Blue. And you can use any of your inks. You can use dye inks. You can use pigment inks. Anything will work. I like the dye inks for this technique because the dye inks dry faster on the paper. If you're going to use pigment inks, you're going to want to heat set that ink before you move on to the next step. Okay. All right, so at this point, we're going to let that ink set. Clean up my mess here. And we're going to do some heat embossing. So while that's setting in, I'm going to put my stamps on some different size stamping blocks here, just so they are all ready to go. And you want a super fine clear embossing powder. So I'm going to be using Wow embossing pad and this giant jar of super clear embossing powder, using a coffee filter to clean it up and an anti-static tool. So again, we're just letting that ink kind of set into place there. And I'm going to place different stamps on different blocks. Different shapes. Okay, so we've got all the different shapes. So they're ready to go. Oh, stuck to my desk. Okay, so I'm going to start with, I'm going to heat this up a little bit before we begin. I feel like I'm missing a little purple in this corner over here. There we go. I'm going to give it a little bit of purple. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to take our anti-static tool and you just kind of prime it by pressing that powder out from the barrel here. And you can see it's starting to come out the center there. And then you want a nice, juicy embossing ink pad. So you can use either Wow or VersaFine Clair. Either one will work fine. Whatever embossing ink pad you have. I'm going to use the Wow because it's nice and juicy for me. Okay. And I'm just going to take my stamps and randomly stamp them. And I do kind of want to fill this whole page with shapes. Some off the page, and you just want to go straight down and straight up. And again, this is a really super sticky ink. Hello, puppy. Puppy's under the chair. Okay, I think we're pretty good here. I can see that one I didn't stamp all the way, but all right, I think these are looking pretty good. Probably put one more small one in here. All right, so now what you're going to do is You're going to cover all of your designs in clear, super fine embossing powder. And if you used a pigment ink, you would want to test your ink just to make sure that it was all dry before you got to this part. Yeah, that's that corner. I knew I didn't stamp that very well. Okay, everything else on here, powder is sticking nicely. Okay, and it's okay if it's not perfect. You want this kind of bohemian, you know, look to it. I think this would be really pretty on dark navy embossed in gold embossing powder. I think it would be pretty to stamp it out in rainbow inks. I mean, there's so many different design elements you could do with this. Okay, so now we're going to heat this up. Okay, so you want to heat everything up so it's smooth, but you don't want to overheat it because then it will melt into the paper. Okay. So we have that nicely done. And then this is the fun part, is covering it all up. But what you're going to need for the next part is paper towel and some black ink. You can use blending brush, sponge. You can go direct to paper with your ink pad. I like using a pigment ink because it will wipe off easier. And we're just going to go back in and blend over this. Now, if you use an archival ink or StazOn ink, that could stain your embossing powder. And we really want the embossing powder to stay clear. You'll see in a minute here what happens. So we want to spread this black ink into every nook and cranny of what we've stamped and heat embossed. And you can see, kind of get this glow effect. So the brighter your colors are underneath, the more they're going to pop through the clear embossing powder. I need to re-ink my ink pad. It's a little dry. Okay, so now we're going to do the reveal. We're going to take our paper towel First, I'm going to wipe up my mess here. Okay, and my paper towel's slightly damp, but it's not wet. And I'm going to rub my images. And as I rub the images, that black ink comes off of the clear embossing powder, stays on the paper, and those beautiful designs come through. How pretty is that? Now, if you want it to be darker, you go in and you add more black ink. And like I said, if you really wanted to, you could just go in and go direct to paper. Like that. I don't like to oversaturate, because then what else could happen is it could get under your embossing powder and seep through the paper, and then your images they're not as bright. So just be careful. You don't want too much ink. You want to do this on a nice smooth cardstock. All right, so there we have the Joseph's coat technique, not invented by me. It's been around for a long time, but it's a fun way to use, make a background, and make your colors pop, okay? So then, let's stamp out our sentiment, and we'll die cut that, and we'll put a card together. So I'm going to grab, let's see here. Spare piece of card here, but I think that's too small. Yeah, that's too small. Let me grab some of the Color Essentials cardstock. Ooh, we have this beautiful teal, so we're going to use that. I'm going to use this as my matte layer. So I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to cut my panel down to 5 by 3 3/4. How pretty this is coming together already. All right, and then I think I have a card base, but you never know with me. Sometimes card bases walk away, especially when there are little children at your desk. So let me grab a thick white piece of cardstock. I'm going to cut that in half at 5 1/2. Score that at 4 1/4. Now we have all of our layers. Nope, a little crooked, a lot crooked on that one. I don't think I cut that straight. Man, I have been having a problem lining things up lately. I think I need to go get my eyes checked. It's time for vacation. Let's try that again. I seriously must have cut that wrong because it is definitely off center. Well, now you know it's a handmade card because it's going to be off center. Okay, so that looks good. Let me grab a scrap piece of paper here and we'll stamp and cut out the sentiment. I'm going to use those same color inks so they coordinate with the sentiment. And we're just going to die cut it out. So I'm going to stamp. I think I'm going to stamp maybe this little, let me see here. Will this fit? Yeah, I'm going to stamp that little guy out. So I'm going to stamp him out in the, actually, I'm going to dual color him. So I'm going to color him a little bit on one side with Lime Ricky. And then I'm going to go in on the other side and do a little bit of Fiesta. So he's kind of an ombre of colors here. See how fun that is? There's no rule that says you have to stamp everything in a solid color. Stretch your imagination. And then the sentiment that says, sending happy thoughts your way. We're going to stamp that one. I definitely see this as a set that I'm going to be using a lot of. It's just something about paisleys. They're just classic. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a little bit in the Lime Ricky and then a little bit in the Fiesta. Ta-da! Okay, and then we're going to give that ink a second to dry. We're going to bring the die cutting machine in and we're going to die cut that. Put my stamps away while we're waiting for that. These are high quality photopolymer stamps. Spellbinders ships from Arizona. And if you want these monthly kits, you got to sign up fast because when it's a kit like this that I think is very mainstream, you don't see a lot of this design out there, I believe it will sell out fairly quickly. And that's just my opinion, but I think a kit like this, a lot of people are going to want to sign up. It's very fun. It's very summer. You could do red and white and blue paisleys and do like a cowboy theme. Oh, so many different things you could do with this. Like I said, you could do like a navy with gold and heat emboss it, make it very elegant. And I like that it's not just paisleys. I like those mandalas that come in, or mandalas, however you say that come with that too. And I like that it comes with the dies. I mean, you're not going to find very many kits on the market that you get your money's worth. I gotta tell you, Spellbinders, I think only one kit that I was kind of like, not my style. But one out of how many that I've gotten, that's not bad. Not bad at all. And the value, it's there. It's definitely worth the money. You get high quality photopolymer stamps. You get high quality dies that Spellbinders is known for. You get very nice designs. You know, you don't get stuck in a rut and get this blah, same thing over and over again. They have a lot of different artists to make sure that there's something there for everybody, no matter what your style is. Okay, so that's cut. You know what we need? We need gems. Where's my gems? Where's my Color Essential gems? like hot sauce. I stick that stuff on everything. Just kidding. I don't really like hot sauce, but you know what I mean. Isn't this cute? Oh, I love this. So fun, so easy. We like easy. I don't want that before, after. I was going to put it down here, but there's like a little dark spot here, so I'm going to put it right in the middle. Yeah, that blends in just like that. That looks good. And then we have our gems. Love these gems. I love that there are different sizes. They're self-adhesive. They all are very like sparkly. They're not dull. And you guys have all gotten gems that are dull. These are just very, very pretty. And it's something you would normally hoard, but the price point is good, you guys. So you don't have to feel guilty about using them. I promise not to poke my finger. I'm just going to sprinkle a little like, what is it? Splattering? I think the word's smattering of these around. They got like tiny little bitty baby ones. Look how little that one is. I'm gonna just put a whole bunch on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're supposed to use an odd number. Something about it's more pleasing to the eye if it's an odd number, which is weird for me because I like everything symmetrical. But I'm learning to embrace the odd number when it comes to elements. Okay, so here we have the June clear stamp and die of the month for Spellbinders. This is June 2022. What a wonderful stamp set and wonderful sentiments and dies to go with it. Be sure you go check it out. I'll put the link down below for you guys, and stay tuned because I'm going to show you guys the glimmer of the month next. If you're not subscribed to my channel, click that bubble and click the notification so that you get a notification every time I load a new video. And if you enjoyed this video, I appreciate your thumbs up. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys, and keep on stamping. Bye.